real boy. You say that. Never gonna stand a chance. Heartbreak like a sad romance. Said that you never come back again. Been 3 days, now you're back again. But I'm not.
Hi there guys, my name is Vali Potson. You guys can call me Ree. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here and joining me for the second episode of my degree Unpacked. I am studying a BSc Dietetics and Nutrition at the University of the Western Cape. As of Monday, the 12th of February 2024, I'll be a third year Dietetics and Nutrition student. I have registered, so technically I am, but I'll be having my first classes then. I'll take you guys along with me, so I'll be looking out for that vlog. Thank you so much for joining us for the second installment of this awesome series where we'll be breaking down our degree to the most basic part. So this is all the fundamentals, everything you need to know, and this is what you need to know. So I will be going through all the different things. In today's segment, we will be discussing what can be done with a degree in Dietetics and Nutrition after one graduates, because I feel like we often get told to do these degrees and then everyone wants to go to a hospital, and then the market in hospitals gets so saturated because everyone wants to be there, and sometimes people don't want to be in hospital. And trust me, hospital is not the only option. You're not just going to sit telling people that they're fat the whole time. That's not what dietetics is about. We are so much more complex and so much more detailed, and in fact we don't believe in fat, we call it adipose tissue. So that's something to note, right? So just to recap last week's video, we discussed what is dietetics, how long this course is, and what does this course entail, what are the admission requirements, so what subjects you take in high school, and then we also discussed where you can study in South Africa. I also gave you guys a bit of a pep talk towards the end, something a bit detailed, fun times. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching that video. The likes and the response and the comments were really awesome, and I really appreciate your engagement, and I look forward to seeing your engagement on this video. Just to recap briefly, this degree, it's first 2 years is science based, so we focus mainly on chemistry, your microbiology, and all these different other scientific elements while we're learning about the basics of nutrition, and that all comes together to help us with third year, which is what I'm going to be doing this year, where we learn about clinical nutrition and we learn about your community nutrition as well as your food service management. So the combination of those three things are the different fields that you can enter as a future dietitian. Those are the different options that you have to practice in your future, and those options don't only have to be in a hospital setting, but can also be outside a hospital setting as well. So then after you've done that and you've worked through understanding these different fields, in your honors year, which is going to be our fourth year, you spend time in hospital under the supervision and guidance of a registered dietitian. So that person is going to basically integrate you into this whole, taking this whole theory that you've learned and making it practical, making it more real for you. That way you can actually do your fifth year. Your fifth year, which is your community service, is your 1 year. You're paid you have your degree now, but you're paid to work as a dietitian in a public hospital in South Africa. And then you complete that year. After you finish that year, you'll be a registered dietitian. In your fourth year, you also have to do a research, like a thesis kind of situation, dissertation, while studying psychology and statistics. Okay, cool. We have recapped last week. Chap. So let's go to this week now. So in this week, we're going to understand what can be done with our degree afterwards. So there are a lot of options. We're going to go through 6 of them. The first one is a private practicing dietitian. When you're a private practicing dietitian, you consult with patients or clients with specific nutrition related conditions who are in need of nutrition intervention and or I need to make lifestyle changes to protect their health. For example, let's say someone is not feeling very well. What do? They're going to go to a doctor, just a GP, a general practitioner. General practitioner lets them know, hey dog, you're actually the way you're moving, you need to lower your cholesterol because you find yourself in a position where you are possibly going to develop this kind of condition. I forgot what the condition is for having too much cholesterol, but I think it's like high blood pressure, or basically they're at a point where they might clog their arteries. I forgot what it's called, but yeah. So then they suggest you go see a dietitian to help you then reverse the effects of your lifestyle choices. So then you are a private practicing dietitian. They come to you, you consult with the patient, and you help them, you provide them therapy, and you help them be able to help themselves. This is not done in a hospital setting. Yes, you can sometimes use a hospital setting to be a private practicing dietitian, but you work independently as an entrepreneur of sorts, you understand. Second option that you have maybe is to become a therapeutic dietitian. This is where you work in a hospital setting as a part of a medical care team in managing the care and therapy of patients. You are going to assess individuals and then create individual or unique nutrition intervention that's going to include maybe a special diet, a feeding tube, or intravenous feeding for a particular patient. So you go and you help with the help of other healthcare professionals, and you guys work as a team, and you decide, okay, cool, this patient is probably struggling with this surgery that this gastric surgery that they just had, so we need you to do this, this, and this as our dietitian, and feed them this way, so they can be unconscious. That's what you do as a therapeutic nutrition. Just an example. As a community service dietitian, you work in the public health sector and usually work for the government, community-based organizations, or like NGOs, non-governmental organizations. So you guys work actively to protect and improve the health of the community through nutrition promotion, education, prevention, and treatment of vitamin and mineral deficiencies, growth monitoring in children, promotion, protection, and support of breastfeeding, nutrition, support for specific conditions, and empowering people to provide adequate nutrition for themselves and their families. So in this community service dietitian setting, you either will see a community and be like, okay, cool, in this community there's a high prevalence of obesity, and then you will create talks and discussions in the community, go to schools, go to office places, and you'll be like, okay guys, as a dietitian, what is obesity? Okay cool guys, how can we stop obesity? And you give presentations and stuff. Or you go and you do consultations, you go to business stock fair, like the ladies in the stock fair, the leaders in the community, and you speak to them. You go to the churches and you speak to them, and then you also the idea is supposed to promote a healthy lifestyle, you're supposed to educate, and you're supposed to help prevent the illnesses that are there. And the people who are obese, you're supposed to treat them and help them get better. If you see someone there's a commonality of a vitamin A deficiency in the area, you speak to the leaders and you say, guys, I see that based on the symptoms that I see people experiencing who are coming to the clinics, there's vitamin A deficiency. Please encourage people to cook with more carrots. Encourage this, encourage that, encourage this. And then you also help fill out the Road to Health booklets, like those ones for the kids. So you help babies as they grow from infancy until 12 years old, I think the Road to Health is, and you just help the parents and the child hand in hand to monitor their growth and ensure that we are supporting exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of a baby's life, and we're just doing all of that. I know today I'm getting so technical and so serious, it's crazy. Okay, the next option that you have, which is the fourth option, is your food service management dietitians. So these people, they manage the provision of balanced healthy meals, as well as specialized diets in institutions such as healthcare facilities, welfare institutions, correctional services, institutional residences, elderly care facilities. They are involved in the planning, costing, developing of menus, and managing food service systems. I'm just going to use a hospital as an example. So if you have a family member who is sick and they have just had their surgery, and then they come and then they are eating from a tray, if they're in a ward and you can see, okay cool, other families also feeding their family members, and you see that everyone is eating the same food, even the person eating here is eating there, that means it comes from a kitchen, right? That means that obviously someone has to cook it somewhere in the hospital, so there's a kitchen in the hospital. So then someone needs to run that kitchen, someone needs to come up with the menu, but that menu, someone needs to find out how much it's going to cost to make these different things. Someone needs to make planning so that make sure that food comes out. If it's 12 o'clock for lunch every day, 12 o'clock lunch must be at 12 every day. That means without fail, a food or meal must be prepared at that time. So someone needs to run that kitchen. As a dietitian, babes, you are running that kitchen. You are in charge. You are making sure that everyone is there on time, everyone is cooking what they need to cook, and that everything that is done is within the budget that is given to you by the hospital. That means everyone is fed appropriately and has all the different nutrients that they need on a generalized level. That's what a food service management manager does. So it's not just in hospitals, this can also be done in prison settings, at schools, and welfare institutions, like let's say a boarding house for orphanages. In those places where you can also have dietitians. Hope it's all making sense. I hope you liked the video. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm a bit low today. I'm trying to keep energy high, but yeah, I've filmed this like a million times, so I'm just trying to okay, cool. So a consultant dietitian is your fifth option. So they will use their nutrition knowledge in the food, nutrition, healthcare, and pharmaceutical industries, and they are involved in food labeling, legislation, nutrition regulations, nutritional analysis, product development, and nutrition related marketing activities. They are used to help increase the public interest in nutrition, and this has led to a lot of jobs opportunities in the food manufacturing industry and the advertising and marketing industry. So the idea is that as a consultant dietitian, you help companies basically appeal to the public and make sure that when they appeal to the public and they are advertising these items, that they are legally correct and that they are actually factually correct. So if we're saying that this product is high in vitamin A, it must be high in vitamin A, but also it must not hurt anyone. Like, it mustn't like serve out a product that's going to cause damage. So you are used to check that everything's correct, that the label is appropriate, that it meets all the nutrition regulations, and you help analyze the product before it goes out to the public. And or if you are on the advertising and marketing side of things, you are putting on labels. You are, when they say this has been approved by a registered dietitian, you're the registered dietitian, so it's been approved by you. That's kind of an idea of what consultant dietitians do. And normally this is not even in the health, sometimes it can be in the healthcare industry, but most of the time this is like private practice, like companies like Santam, like this is done by Future Life, Checkers, you see those kind of companies, like actual corporations who use consulting dietitians. And then next one is your research dietitian, which is you work in the field of nutrition related research, examining the role of nutrition in health and disease, and you are usually employed by academic institutions or statutory bodies. This is very simple. So basically you just do your research. Anything to do with nutrition and research, that's you. You are in the library, on your laptop, you are on Google Scholar, you are just doing your research through and through. So the different sectors that you can expect to work in, first one being the public sector, that's your Department of Health, Correctional Services, or military. If you're in the private sector, it's the food industry, the healthcare or pharmaceutical industry, private hospital, medical aids, so like Discovery, for example, food companies, the guys that make jungle oats, what the company name is, private practice, or even in the food service industry, so like restaurants, McDonald's, for instance, but like not in the kitchen, but like higher up in the actual corporate side of things. Your research, you can work in the Medical Research Council, MRC, or universities, or just in the food industry and do research there. If you are teaching, you can work at schools or university, but if you want to teach, you might need to get a postgraduate teaching qualification. That is an option for most degrees actually. And then if you want to be an entrepreneur, you work in a private practice, you can be a consultant dietitian, or you can be a health communications. If you think of the lady like Abby Sharp, or like what I'm doing now, where you start a YouTube channel and you talk about diet, you talk about food, you debunk some of the really crazy challenges people are doing out there to lose weight and all the different stuff. Yeah, that is when you become an entrepreneur dietitian, where you like work for yourself and you create your own business around your degree and your profession. So guys, that is everything. All information I got from the UWC website, as well as the Stellenbosch website, where they describe our degree in full detail. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this breakdown. I hope that I kept you guys engaged, and I hope that you guys had a wonderful time here. I can't wait to see you for next week, because next week we'll be discussing the ultimate first year guide, things that I wish I knew before I started this degree, and I wish I knew so much, but I really hope that you guys can take advantage of the information I'm going to give you, and take advantage of this information and realize that you don't have to be in a hospital, you don't have to be you don't have to consult people, you don't have to see people. If you don't want to see people at all, you don't have to help people after you finish your community service, you never have to see people ever again. You can just be in a corporate setting. I mean, when I say see people, I mean like be a consultant that just like help people through their illnesses, because I know it can be really frustrating, especially like when you have people who just refuse to listen. Like, it's difficult if you have a client where you say, I'm saying this, and then they want to see results, but then they can't see results because they're not implementing what you discussed. And sometimes to watch a patient pass on, I know that can be really traumatic. So maybe you just don't want to have patients, and you just want to have you just want to be a corporate dietitian, or a kind of dietitian that doesn't need that to like be with a creative emotional connection. These are some of the options that you can consider. So guys, I hope you guys had an awesome day today, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Don't forget to comment, like the video, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.